Hey guys, it's James again, aka K-Town Fat Cat. I'm coming back at you. Finally, it's been a while. We took a long break with another version of my show Dust, another episode, so to speak. Today's episode is going to be another boxing show. A few weeks ago on Facebook, a friend of mine posed the question, who would win in their prime in these random heavyweight boxing matches. He set up kind of a virtual tournament of retired fighters. The first one, of course, everybody wants to know about is Rocky Marciano versus Muhammad Ali. This fight has been debated since Ali was probably in about his 20th fight or so. As you all know, Rocky Marciano retired undefeated, 49-0. The idea of this fight is not a novel concept. As a matter of fact, sometime in 1969, some guys got together and fed a computer tons and tons of data on Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali. At the time, you know, Marciano had been retired for like 13 years. Ali was still undefeated. He was in exile for refusing to go into the service, be inducted into the armed forces for the Vietnam War. So he could use some money, and Marciano had been retired for a while and he could use some money. They put this movie together and they called it The Super Fight. The computer spit out, it ran this fight millions of times, and it spit out what it thought could possibly happen if these guys actually fought in their prime. It spit out a few different scenarios that could happen, but the one that they showed in 1970 was Marciano knocking Ali out in the 13th round. In the fight, Ali had Marciano down, but he got up, he was bloodied and battered, and then he started breaking through and pounding Ali's body and ended up dropping him, then dropped him again, and Ali couldn't beat the count. He had his left arm on the rope trying to get up, couldn't beat the count. Ref counted him out. Fight was over in the 13th round. What you have to realize, because I definitely don't see that fight going that way, what you have to realize is at this point, all these boxing experts had no idea the resilience Ali had. They had seen him get knocked down by Henry Cooper when he was younger, and he was up quick. But what they hadn't seen at that time was Ali getting floored by what I think was the picture-perfect left hook thrown by Joe Frazier in their first fight of the century, two undefeated heavyweight champions. That punch was as perfect a punch as you can imagine, landed flush on Ali's jaw, dropped him like a sack of potatoes. He was up at the count of 4. Ended up finishing the fight. Frazier could not finish him. This super fight movie had Marciano dropping him with left hooks. And I'm telling you right now, Marciano's left hook wasn't as good as Joe Frazier's best left hook. You cannot convince me of that. Frazier's left hook should go down as one of, if not the greatest left hooks of all time. Marciano is going to be remembered for the right hand that he dropped Jersey Joe Walcott with. I didn't like the way the computer did it. The way I would like to start this discussion is this. Let's look at the tail of the tape. First of all, I think this tells a lot of the story in my mind. You have Rocky Marciano. He was 5'11", around 195 pounds in his prime. He had a 67-inch reach. Then you have Muhammad Ali, who was 6'3", if not a little taller than that, around 215, 220 in his prime. So you're looking at a 20-25 pound weight advantage right off the bat. 4 inch at least height advantage, but he had a 78-inch reach. So there you go. You're looking at almost a foot difference in reach, 6 inches each arm. And the speed Ali possessed with that kind of reach on basically a cruiserweight, I don't care how tough they say Rock was. I've seen him get busted up in fight. I've seen him get cut. If Ali does not stop this fight on cuts, Marciano would have permanent brain damage. I'm telling you, this fight to me wouldn't even be close. I believe all the hype behind Marciano. I do. I believe he was tough. But you can't tell me that after seeing Ali's whole career unfold and all the different times he was on the brink of losing and didn't lose. Yeah, I know later in his career, mid to late part of his career, he got a few decisions that maybe could have gone either way, but he was the greatest. Why would anybody complain if he got a close decision? I know Norton believes he won at least 2 of their 3 fights. I know Frazier believes he won at least 2 of their 3 fights. Well, both the fights that actually went the distance. He quit on the stool in the Thrill of Manila. But in all reality, they both were 1 and 2 against Ali. Then you have Ali, the young Ali, beating Liston, beating all comers. I mean, the late Ali beat the young undefeated Foreman who was crushing everybody. He wasn't afraid of a punch. So I cannot. Ernie Shavers, as a matter of fact, Ali fought Ernie Shavers and got beat half to death by Ernie Shavers. Softened him up so much he ended up losing to Leon Spinks in his next fight. But I'm just telling you this. I cannot be convinced that Rocky Marciano, being as small as he was compared to Ali, could pack a wallop like Shavers or Foreman or Frazier. I just can't see that. And Ali went toe-to-toe with those guys. Marciano, he's got the record. He's 49-0. I think he had 43 knockouts. I'll give him that. He deserves his place in the Hall of Fame and on everybody's lips as one of the greatest boxers. But you can't convince me that he's one of the greatest heavyweights. Not heavyweights of my era. Maybe heavyweights of the 50s when they were all smallish compared to today's heavyweights. Well, today's heavyweights are giants, but in my day, the 70s, 80s heavyweights, early 90s heavyweights, rolling around 220, 225, I'm telling you, those guys would have just destroyed Marciano. It would have taken some lucky punch or devastating punch like he pulled off against Walcott. So, to get to my point, I believe if these two guys fought in their prime, it would pack the house, it would break a lot of records with attendance and pay-per-view and everything, but Ali wins a unanimous decision, walks away with it. Marciano does not get through like the super fight movie shows. And you can go check that out. You can go check it out. I mean, you'll see Marciano, 14 years away from his boxing career, wearing a toupee, lost a lot of weight, gets in the ring with the young Ali, who is undefeated and waiting to get his license back. They make it look really good for Rocky. But I think Ali and everybody else would realize that that fight would not go down the way it did. It had a few alternate endings. I'd like to see those. Maybe I could go read up on them, but go check out that fight on YouTube. I know there's a couple videos out there of it, and you'll see what I'm saying. They really glorify Marciano in this fight, but my heart, my gut, my brain, my experience of watching hundreds and hundreds and thousands of boxing matches, I'm telling you right now, Ali stops him on cuts or wins an easy, unanimous decision with Rock busted up and bleeding. You can't give Ali that much reach and a weight advantage like that and expect anything less or anything more for that matter. Little food for thought for you. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm sure I'll get a lot of people who dog me out because I didn't live near Marciano and yada yada yada. But I do live in the real world. And in the real world, Muhammad Ali dusts him. Until next time, this is the K-Town Fat Cat signing out. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel. You know the deal. I'll be coming at you with a lot of useless sports trivia, and I'll be trying to make many more videos on different topics. My heart is with boxing and baseball, so that'll probably be where I settle in. But I appreciate you watching, and I hope you like this video. I am looking forward to some of your comments. And until next time, K-Town Fat Cat signing out.